Hey everyone, this is Elmer on Lightsong, and welcome to another... No, this is gonna be, as the video title says, it's some gaming news. A few days ago, or rather yesterday, Blizzard announced, to their financial investments that World of Warcraft had lost about close to a number of 3 million subscriber loss. Now that is a significant amount, but that's just in the first quarter and will not take into account of the WoW tokens, so that will be fine. So the WoW subs that was lost was a significant amount, and it was a lot. I know many people probably don't care. Others are worried. Others are like, oh, this is the end of WoW. As is the case with most.
This is killing business.
As is the case for most
Welcome
things.
To the slaughtered caffeine.
Mostly what happens.
Bring me whatever treasure.
Dead.
Now we're all wondering, why did this happen? What was the cause of it?
For many years, villagers were too afraid.
I don't honestly know, and I'm getting sick and tired of the phone calls happening when I'm busy.
16 militiamen went out.
Hold on a second.
Only Rumford came back.
Okay, ignore that.
On
Anyway, why did the subs go down? Well, it really depends on the person that quits. Some say the rating's just not good. Some say, rating's boring. Some say there's just not enough content. Some people feel that they just don't like Draenor. They don't like the story arc. It could be many reasons, and it's all not just the one direction, so I don't think specifically it's just one answer.
They're attacking the barricades!
So I came here to tell you
More fury.
the answer is false. At least in my opinion.
That's one of the wretched mothers. There are more of them in the ruins down the road.
Anyway. What I want to say is, I think the most... one reason is probably people might be getting tired of the game, or they're just burning themselves out on it, which I think is pretty common for any game if you just play a binge, which I am very guilty of. And sometimes I just don't feel like playing WoW anymore. I usually do it at the end of the day. Now, that's not everyone's way of playing, but that is what I do. And with all this in mind, it could be because maybe PvP just isn't fun, and most people and the players that play PvP only are, alienated, and therefore, they just don't want to play WoW anymore, so they unsubbed. Maybe they just don't like the story way how it went, how it's executed, and therefore it's a turn off. That could be it, but I don't really have a big problem with the story itself. I think it's pretty firm. I do think, if you don't like the way the story is going, that's not the best reaction, but unless, of course, you actually explain why. I mean, if you don't like the fact that we went to Draenor it used an old idea. Well, I'll say going to Draenor is an old idea, but Blizzard put a new spin on it. And it's very common for people in an industry to take an old idea and then spin it on its head.
Just chaos everywhere.
Do something quite the opposite with it. In fact, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, the other answer is ratings bored them out. I mean, yes, there is a lot of raid bosses, and, maybe people are just burning out, or the fight mechanics aren't fun. I couldn't answer, but I do know that the first fight of Kargath on normal, which, for the hardcore raiders, it's like, whatever, you don't know what you're talking about. I can say that fighting Kargath was underwhelming. I feel like he deserved a better ending, so that's one criticism I'd offer.
I've gained new
Honestly,
power.
I just didn't like the way he went. I feel like he deserved a much better ending. part on it. Some say, you don't like the way their classes are functioning, and stuff like that. I'm not totally experienced, at least not as much as, someone else. If someone else has more of an opinion, please tell me in the comments below. I've also heard some raiding guilds are being disbanded. I guess maybe because the content was too hard for them or whatnot. I don't know. But I guess I advise if you're going to go through some raiding content that might be difficult, don't rush it and try to be respectful to your team because they are your team. And you should respect them because they deserve that. Anyway. That's one element. Now here's the dungeons and the heroics. This part is where things might be, because in Mist and Pandaria we barely had any dungeons and we got a lot more. And that was cool, and I actually prefer these dungeons than the older ones.
Still recharging.
I actually don't even care for the Mist and Pandaria ones. I like the Warlords of Draenor. I haven't did a dungeon in a while, but I think maybe I should do a dungeon run, maybe to show it off. I don't know. We'll see what I can do. And the dungeons are nice, and you do gear them up, and I'd say the only one that I don't think is really that difficult, at least at the current level that you're doing it, is Blood Slag Mines. I think that is probably that was the most easiest dungeon in my experience. This is I'm someone who's played for a long time, like roughly 3 years, so keep that in mind. Difficulty may vary from individual. But, as I say, as long as it's fun and the dungeon is immersive, which it is, then I think, it's a success. Now then, this part is where I think it's really starting to fall. The content in the open world of Draenor, or whatever place. Basically, I call it open world content. Like, does it fall? Well, from what I've seen, other than the leveling, at first you start.
These unholy creatures can rest
you
now.
start out at when you go to your garrison, and I'll go to garrison in a minute here. You get this one daily thing a day. This is before 6.1, where you had like that one guy come in your garrison. Do something. You get like a choice of 2 dailies, and you can go do them, and you get some apex crystals. And that was kind of much it. I mean, and there wasn't that much out there in the world other than the treasure chest stuff, which you might uncover all of them really quickly. And some random events, which, granted, there isn't that much more. I will give Blizzard credit for making Draenor very beautiful and a nice place to explore. However, there isn't enough, I think, just yet. And I'm wondering if patch 6.2 will help fix that. But who knows? So there's not much that open world content and I'm not including pet battles and that such. I think that's a whole different angle, and I'm not really fond of it, but I know people like it, so I'm not going to cover that. Now in 6.1, you did have a guy come in to do a random quest, and oh yeah, and I also forgot, you did have that garrison quest line that every now and then started every week in the weekly reset. It started the quest line related to the Draenor story arc. And obviously you have the legendary quest, which continues in 6.1 a little bit.
Executing anyone is paranoid.
And then you start, and then 6.2 is at the end with Gul'dan. So there's really not much open world content. It's more, I guess there's more do your own thing, at least kind of, not totally. And so that's much it. I mean, yeah, you could, you know, like, I'm just gonna do stuff myself.
Thank you for your
The
help.
ancients
I
have
guess
blessed me.
there are those that like
Come,
structured
let us search
stuff,
for your
and
uncle.
I guess when there
We'll
isn't,
need to open the cathedral
that would
first.
bother them. I don't blame them for that. I would suggest that, you know, add more stuff to do in the open world. I've said this time and time again, and I really don't feel like saying
Doesn't
it again,
feel
but
right being in Uncle
I feel
Deckard's room
that's
when
something
he's
Blizzard
not
has to
here.
do. I feel like some feel that they went way too much towards raiding, and I'm not going to knock raiding. I mean, I think it has its place. I think focusing too much on it and just put
Here,
out all
let me
your
open
effort
the
on
gate.
it is just foolhardy.
Adria
and
was my mother, but I don't know much
causes
about
the
her.
downfall.
She died when I was very young. I was raised by Uncle Deckard.
Yeah.
What of your father?
I'm told he was a great warrior who was lost when Tristram fell to the deep.
I'm ignoring her until then. Okay. Anyway,
Look!
it seems that,
But I never believed it.
I can't think.
I need
Can't
fury.
think. I can't think. If I would suggest stuff in the open world, have these more bonus events. I'm not really sure. Something from Guild Wars 2-ish.
Here's the key.
Do something
Aiden
like
came
that.
to me.
That
Did
might
what
work.
was lurking within his troubled heart. I consoled him.
I think that would work. Add more stuff to do out there. I don't know specifically get random events. You know, new quests to add in there at level 100. Do some of that. Because you can't just keep just doing stuff with your character. Some of the stuff just takes a long time to do, and I think that you should have some stuff to do. At least at a somewhat
Another
basis.
poor soul.
Now, I have one theory that the way the thing Warlord of Draenor is set up right now is, it's more casual based. You know, hardcore players might not have the best time. That's a theory. I don't know if I'm right. So, I don't know. I need to check. Now, garrisons. Do they need fixing? I don't know how people feel about oops, sorry. Mixing. Some people like garrison, some people just don't like the way they're handled. And they are stuck in one place, but I think they can work. I think some
Cooking and serving gruel
they've
ain't
become
glorious, but these men
possibly
can't fight
more-
and die on empty stomachs. I think I'll stay
Impossible.
on around here. The men need me.
can't.
You never know when the fighting might start again.
Wow, I can't even sell. What the hell?
As the shepherd watches over his flock, so shall
Okay, whatever.
You really?
I love the feel
And
of
the professions
discovering
being
some
linked
precious
to-
item buried for years.
Well,
Exquisite.
the garrison, maybe it's just not that appealing. That, and with your mine and your herbs, you can farm those resources, and thus the
I've got. Our people may have no homeland, but I will survive.
they're not able to, like, for sellers it's bad for them, but for buyers it's good because the price of those resources, materials go down. And while the upgrading items for crafting, you know, like making a piece of armor or whatever, that's nice, but I think that also created where people are just making these pieces, you only have 3 of them, still using them and upgrading them. I have a weapon on one of my main characters and I keep upgrading it. So, I believe that, it's kind of caused, I guess, maybe people not to want pieces to upgrade. I'm not actually certain what garrisons could be done to change to fix the sub-loss, but I don't really know. I just believe the weak point is the garrisons in the open. I also think maybe making you able to go wherever you want in your garrison will help, barring, you know, certain areas where you can't. The horde is nearby. I also think garrisons would be at least should have more stuff that it can do. This is better than, like, it can't just do stuff that, like,
Not enough fury.
puts you in advantage over other players, or rather, gives you power. I realize that might be a very difficult task, but it has to be done. Because I think the fears people have in garrison for proven right.
Still recharging.
Even I didn't think it was big, but I guess it's hard. I don't have much to say else about garrisons, and this turned out that I thought it was. Now, as for the reputation, well, at least you don't need to have farm to get better pieces of gear. I mean, they have trinkets, but they don't have, like, gear, you know, locked behind. So that's all,
Look out!
isn't it?
They've been circling for hours.
It is.
The ancients have blessed me.
Anyway, I also think, I think what would have been nice is new reputations have, like, either revered or exalted, or probably revered. Have, like, one little quest line that deals with the faction themselves, delving a little
In
bit
the
into the
eastern
lore
kingdom of
it all.
Khazistan, I heard
Like for the
rumors of
Exarchs,
Zakharun.
more about the Exarchs, you might do some missions for them, and I think that would help, and, you know, probably explore Urel's character and Rod. We all know what happened to that. Spoilers. Same thing with the Ericol faction. Nothing really happened all that much. So I think it was a missed opportunity, in my opinion. Now then, so like any new faction that's introduced, a raid faction or whatever, at least, you know, if you get to a certain point of reputation with them, add some kind of quest line or something to do with them, because I think that would, you know, add more depth to it and have, you know, more content. It would just make it all much better experience. So, quest lines related with reputations, I think, is something I'd want to see. What else? Oh, well, okay. Now this part is, since we're on to the last part of patch 6.2, I think I had to stress, you know, Blizzard, you really shouldn't try to, you know, do yearly expansions. I know you keep saying you will, but you need to get that out of your head. You just can't do it. Especially if the quality of the content is going to be sacrificed, okay? Gaming industry already has two giants doing that yearly thing, and while I wouldn't mind yearly content so much, it is if the quality was still really, really good. In Blizzard, you're kind of known for being excellent quality, and when it's done, it's done. And I feel like you have been doing better as of late. I mean, you're not perfect, but you have been doing better, in my opinion. But I still think you need a little bit more fixing, and, well, I don't like seeing you guys do bad. I mean, For example, Activision does its yearly Call of Duty releases, and you really don't want to turn into that. And I'll say it again, really, Activision doesn't really have anything to do with WoW at this point. Despite what people think. Same with the Assassin's Creed yearly releases. Blizzard don't really need to do that. But the quality sacrificed? Nope. I'm not really certain you devs at Blizzard are incompetent either, and I also don't think it either. It doesn't make sense to me. I just think that maybe in creative direction, maybe they don't, you know, the way they're going, and it's just not going out well. And maybe people would think it's the right direction, but maybe it isn't. Maybe. At least when it comes to gameplay direction, it doesn't
Not
seem
ready
to go
yet.
too perfect. So really, don't do yearly expansions, Blizzard. If you had to lengthen Warlords of Draenor just to make sure the next expansion comes out in a massive quality, and then continue that trend, I'd be okay with that, you know? I'd be fine. This yearly expansion thing, it's not gonna work. No, don't do it. Alright? That's enough of that. Anyway, as the days go by, people, when you criticize Blizzard, be constructive, don't be rude about it. I mean, be nice. You don't have to, you know, defend. I mean...
The ancients have blessed me.
I mean, if you really feel like they're doing the right path, that's fine. Just don't start being rude and saying fanboys, white knight, freaking whatever buzzword that comes along, because sometimes you don't agree with something. Keep it clean discussion.
Need more time.
I really doubt it will happen, but I'd rather have you not say anything else. Hopefully the swap sub loss won't really happen that much. And I know WoW is past 10 years old, but I'm not really sure that's the fair argument here. I think MMOs, and WoW specifically, can get better if it's done right, like I said. So hopefully Blizzard, you can get your act together. Hopefully fix what you're doing. And read the suggestions. And hopefully people will take what I said in this video, and hopefully I didn't bore you guys too much. So, I don't know what the direction that Warlord of Draenor is going, but let's hopefully hope patch 6.2 helps with the sub loss. And how WoW is going to improve itself. Like, usually. Been Outrun Light Song. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, it really helps. I'll see you guys next time. In the next video. Have a good day. Bye.